Hello everyone, my name is Anuj and today I'll be telling you everything you need to know about the 7 segment display and how to use it using the Arduino. So let's start. First of all, what is a 7 segment display? Well, a 7 segment display is a type of an electronic display that can be used to represent numbers, some letters and some symbols. As you can see, it has 7 segments or LEDs and another LED for the dot point. All these LEDs can be controlled individually by the Arduino to represent different numbers, some letters and some symbols. Since this display is so cheap and easy to use, it is widely used in microwave oven displays, digital clocks, instrumentation panels, etc. There are two types of 7 segment displays. One is the common cathode display and the other is the common anode display. In the common cathode display, the cathodes of all the LEDs are connected together and the LEDs are controlled individually by their anodes. Whereas in the common anode display, the anodes of all the LEDs are connected together and the LEDs are controlled individually by their cathodes. Now, let us identify whether our display is a common cathode one or a common anode one. For this, you will need a display, a breadboard, and a 3-volt battery. As you can see, I have attached male-to-male jumper cables on the terminals of the 3-volt battery. First, attach the display to the breadboard. Now, let us first connect the negative terminal of the battery to the middle pin of any row of the display. That is, we need to connect it either to this pin or this pin. So let us do it. Now connect the positive terminal of the battery to any other pin of the same row. As you can see, one segment of the display lights up. Thus we can say that this display is a common cathode one. Whereas if it would have been a common anode one, then the opposite thing would have happened. If we would have connected the anode of the battery to the middle pin of the display and the cathode to any other pin, then some lights segment would have lit up. Since this is not happening, it is not a common anode display and it is a common cathode display. Now let us understand which pin corresponds to which LED segment of the display. To do this, first draw the display on a paper. As you can see, I have labeled each part of the display as A, B, C, D, E, F, G and dot point. As you can see, there are 5 pins on each side of the display. The middle pin of each side is the ground pin. Now let us understand the role of the other pins. First, take the breadboard, attach the display to the breadboard. Now take the 3-volt battery. Connect the negative terminal of the battery to the ground pin. And first, let us connect it to this pin. Let us connect the positive terminal of the battery to this pin. So, this pin corresponds to the A segment of the display. So let us label it as A. Now let us identify the role of the pin next to it, that is this pin. Okay, so this pin corresponds to the B segment of the display. Let us write it down. Now let us connect the positive terminal to this pin, that is this pin. As you can see, the dot point lights up. Let us write it down. Now let us connect it to this pin. So the C segment of the display lights up. Let us write it down. Now let us connect it to this pin. That is to say this pin. Oh, oops. This pin corresponds to the D segment of the display. Let us find out the role of the pin next to it. This pin lights up the E segment of the display. Let us connect it to this pin. So this pin corresponds to the G segment of the display. Now the last pin, which is this pin, ought to correspond to the F pin. So it does. Now that we know the role of each pin, let us do the wiring. The code is very simple. In the code, first we declare the digital output pins of the Arduino, to which the different segments of the display are connected. Then, in the void setup, using a for loop, we declare all these pins as output devices. After that, in the void loop, we represent different numbers and the dot point on the display. All these functions are defined below. Like, for example, for 0, segment A, B, C, D, E and F are turned on, while segment G and dot point are turned off. Now let's upload the code.